Hi there. Welcome to another edition of On the Tourism Trail. I'm your host, Pamela Martin, and today we're at the grounds of the Alexander Hamilton Museum. And my guest is Mr. Greg Phillip. He is the CEO of Nevis Sun Tours. Welcome, Greg.
Good morning, Pam.
Good morning.
Yeah,
Good to
thank
have
you.
you on the trail with me today.
Well, it's good to be on the trail with you.
Great, great, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Greg,
Yes.
I'm sure everybody knows,
Uh-huh.
but for those who don't, you were the former CEO of the Nevis Tourism Authority, and you were the CEO for how long?
I was CEO for 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
Okay, and so your experience there would have been what? Give us a little idea of what you would have encountered.
Well, the experience was good because the reality is, I ended up as the CEO of Nevis Tourism Authority based on, I think, many of the other things I was already doing in regards to tourism. Before being the CEO, I was the chairman of the board of Nevis Tourism Authority. And even prior to that, I was a board member of Nevis Tourism
Okay, so
Authority.
you graduated.
Yeah, and before that, for many years, I was on the board of um, the Hotel and Tourism Association of St. Kitts and Nevis. And even before that, and all the way up, I've always been involved in things related to sports and sport tourism here on the island of Nevis. So
Right.
through all those years, since about the end of the 90s, being here, it's always been some sort of involvement as it regards to promoting the island of Nevis and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. So transitioning to CEO of Nevis Tourism Authority
Right.
and being there
Natural
for the
step.
time I was there, yeah, it was a good move, I think, and it gave me an opportunity, essentially, to be a bit more hands-on with what I felt was really important for us to do as it relates to Nevis and putting Nevis more on the map as a tourism destination.
Okay, excellent, wonderful story. And so now you are, like I said, the CEO. So upon leaving the Nevis Tourism Authority, your idea was to do what?
The reality is, my plan upon leaving Nevis Tourism Authority was initially really was to write a book. And it's this book I had in my mind. And I started writing the book. And during the process of writing the book, the opportunity also came for me to put the wheels back onto a company that we had since 2007. So if we're sticking with the book, the writing process was in the middle of that, and then of course COVID came, and when COVID came just after we restarted Nevis Sun Tours.
Okay.
So as we're going through COVID, we realized that many of the people that we had as an audience for Nevis Sun Tours, which were lots of travel professionals around the world,
Okay.
we realized that because of COVID, they were going through something very difficult. It's a very difficult time for them. A lot of people thinking that, well, this is the end of travel. What's going to happen to
Right,
travel?
because nobody really knew what was going to take
Exactly.
place. Mm.
And I knew that COVID is temporary,
Okay.
and there was a chance for me to be useful to, I'll say, the global travel industry and the audience that we actually had.
Right.
So I wrote lots of articles and published them. So I was writing sometimes up to 2 articles per week, really giving people hope about staying
Travel.
in travel and continuing to do the work in travel because it is going to come back.
Right.
And so in writing all these articles, someone in the audience who is actually a publisher in Canada, she suggested that I compile all these articles in the form of a book. So that's how my attention switched from the book I was actually writing to the book that I
Oh.
actually wrote. So I wrote
Okay.
this book called The Truth About Early Birds and Worms. And essentially what the book does is it provides hope,
Okay.
instructions, and I wrote it in a way, while it was dealing with life after COVID for travel businesses, I write it in a way that actually caused it to be something that is actually timeless because of what we put in the book related to travel businesses.
Mm.
So if I had to describe that book and what it is, it's really a travel business book. It's a book about the business of travel.
Okay.
So we published that book, but of course, all during that time, we're still working on Nevis Sun Tours. because and one of the things that we really put in the book was the fact that you have to find opportunities everywhere.
Right.
And we looked at COVID as a great
That's an
opportunity.
opportunity.
And one of the great things about it and about being in Nevis, if you're going to be serious about business in the travel industry and in let me say the tourism industry, the way we call it here,
Hmm.
if you're going to be serious of that, you have to keep your eyes open and look for opportunities and see how in fact you
Right.
can be different and do something that's really going to make you successful. So one of the great things for us was during COVID, there's a lot of talent on the street. Hotels are laying off people, and that gave us a chance to take some risk and hire while everybody else is laying off. Take some risks,
Ah.
take some risk and hire the people who with the experiences
Hmm.
who can come and deliver something to our team.
Okay.
So we ended up with
Mm.
a couple of very good people, experienced people, people who are known not just here in St. Kitts and Nevis for what they do in the industry, but
Okay.
actually people who are in the industry and also known internationally. So um, that really gave us a good opportunity to take some leaps ahead, so that when COVID was
You were
actually
already
open, yeah,
positioned and
we're
ready to run.
exactly,
So tell us
and that's what we're doing. We're
exactly
running.
what Nevis Sun Tours offers. What is the business? Tell us all about it because it sounds very, very interesting.
Well, we like to think it's interesting. um, the reality is, Nevis Sun Tours is a tour operator,
Hmm.
and I'll explain that in a while. So we are both a tour operator and a destination management company.
Okay.
A tour operator from the perspective that we package vacations.
All right.
So when people travel here, we have packages, vacation packages, which we create for them, which includes hotels, all their transportation, their meals, everything that you could think
Okay.
of that
So
they'll
like a
need here,
general
their
regular tour
activity.
operator. You
Yes,
purchase.
yeah, general regular tour operations for people who understand international
Right.
travel and
Traveling.
tourism.
Hmm.
And the reason I say that, generally, around here, if somebody does a tour, we call them a tour operator locally.
Okay. So we're
When
talking about the entire package,
yes,
everything.
um, according to international tourism standards, if you're a tour operator, it means that you package
Everything.
tours,
Right.
and tours meaning everything from accommodation to yes, actual tours and activities, transportation, everything.
Right.
You create
The
vacation
entire thing.
packages and you sell them.
Sell
You're
those.
you're either selling them directly to the public, or you're selling those vacation packages to travel agents and other overseas tour operator.
Okay.
So that was important for us because, especially in the UK, tour operators are where it is when it comes to travel. It's not like in North America where you have lots of independent travel agents. Mostly in the UK, you go through tour operators. And dealing
True.
with tour operators, we realized that, you know, being here in St. Kitts and Nevis and being a tour operator in St. Kitts and Nevis, it means that we have a competitive
Right.
advantage. We do consider other tour operators like BA Holidays, for example, if we
Mm.
think in the UK, and Coney and all the others, the big established ones that people would know about. We do consider them our competition,
Right.
but they're also our partners. But the reality is, so doing business with BA Holidays as a tour operator in the UK, one good thing is that yes, they have the plane, so that's their competitive advantage. So
Right.
we've looked at ourselves as a tour operator, knowing that our competitive advantage here is that we are right here on
Right
the
here on
ground.
the island of Nevis,
Yes.
or Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
So when travel agents do business with us and
Hmm.
when individuals do business with us
Hmm.
and they're coming here, they are always coming to someone
Right.
because we're here. The activities that they do, we're handling them.
Right.
We're doing just about everything they want to do on vacation. We
Okay.
handle it ourselves.
Okay. So talk to us about the destination management portion.
Right. Well, as a destination management company, it fits right into the fact that they're coming to someone,
Hmm.
because once you're a destination management company, you're managing what happens in the destination. So we handle airport transfers, meet and greet at the airport. We're also handling meals that they may want outside of the hotels.
Okay.
We're handling all of their activities.
Activities and
It's
excursions.
yeah, it's everything. Just really making sure that
So it's seamless
everything
from
flows.
beginning to end. You take
Precisely,
care of everything.
precisely.
Okay, perfect.
And one of the things that really drove us to is the fact that St. Kitts and Nevis doesn't have all-inclusive hotels, and that's good because I think that it would be a waste if somebody comes and just sits at a hotel and does nothing.
Right.
So what we have is opportunities also for people who are interested in all-inclusive vacations. They can book those with us.
Right.
It just means that instead of spending your time at a hotel and roaming around the hotel, well, you roam around these two islands knowing that you've already paid and everything is taken care of.
Right.
Whatever we've booked for you, it's already paid for.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Nevis Sun Tours.
Yes, that's
Okay.
Nevis Sun Tours. And,
Excellent.
I mean, Mark, as I said, I mean, we have a solid team, and the general philosophy for us is that we do things which are tours and activities, and we facilitate those which are highly immersive. In other words, once you're here and you're participating in any of the tours and activities that we have, you'll realize that they are different. You're not just driving around, for example.
Mhm.
You're getting involved, and you're doing things, and you're building relationships, whether it is relationships with the island itself as a
Because
whole,
you're
or
so connected with the
exactly,
community that you're
exactly,
doing.
and we have a very collaborative business model
Mhm.
where lots of the things we do involves the community,
Right.
and
Lovely.
and that's the greatest thing for us, because the people who we work with in the community, I promise you, one of the greatest joys for us is at the end of a month when we're able to hand somebody a check because of something that
That they would have done.
they would have done, but it's not part of their normal
Right.
everyday life. But
Right.
they found
So you're
themselves in
actually
travel.
driving the economic
Precisely.
revenue
Yeah,
to them.
we find that around here, one of the great things is actually having um, tours, activities that embraces the community,
Right.
especially after COVID. Many people who travel now, that's what they're looking for. Very deep, rich experiences. Mark, yes, there's still people who just want to come and
And stay on the
sit on the
resort.
beach,
Mhm.
and who want to be on a cruise ship and come off and walk around, drive around, and that's it.
And that's
That's
it.
fine.
Right.
But there is a demographic of people who are looking for something different, and that demographic is increasing every day.
Right.
And as far as St. Kitts and Nevis go, we're facilitating them.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds good. And so, Greg, one of the immersive experiences that you have with Nevis Sun Tours is called Coffee with Hamilton.
Yes.
Tell us about that and what it entails.
Okay. Well, Coffee with Hamilton is essentially a version of a tour that we have, and in fact, it's our most popular tour, called the Alexander Hamilton Island Tour.
Okay.
So, Coffee with Hamilton, what's different about that is that it really begins here on the ground of the birthplace of Alexander Hamilton, where we are now. And we sit down with the guests. We have coffee here at Cafe des Arts. That's one of the restaurants that we work with. And we sit here and we have conversations because, again, as I said, when we think about immersive tours, it's about connection.
Right.
And we sit down, we connect through conversations, and our conversations are basically going to be whatever it is that the guests and the level of conversation that the guests actually want. They book it so they know that yes, we are going to be having some conversations, and
Right.
then after that it makes the interaction on the actual Alexander Hamilton Island tour to flow so much easier.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you start with that connection.
Yes, yes.
Connecting through a simple cup of coffee,
exactly.
and then you go on from there.
Yes, and
Nice.
and it's part of the immersion process for
Right.
us with that. And the other thing that we do with the Alexander Hamilton Island tour is that it is in fact a story.
Yes.
It is not just an island tour. It is a story that took us a good long while of research to put together. And what what the story is really, yes, Alexander Hamilton is the central figure.
Mm-hmm.
But while he's the central figure, as we go through Nevis, discussing this story and presenting this story to the guests, we use a bit of historical fiction some light theatrics, to keep it interesting.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, and there's lots of, a few times there's some plot twists
Okay.
that are included in the story, and at the same time, by the end of it, it's ultimately a human interest story that ends well, even though many times throughout you may consider Alexander Hamilton to be the villain, but then at another time, okay, well, he seems like the hero.
Okay.
But what really took the research for us to make it interesting is the fact that it had to be historically correct and factual, because
Right.
if we're doing this and it's a story and Nevis itself is the scene,
Right.
we have to make sure that we show and tell. So if we tell you something about Hamilton, when there's a walking section of the tour. When we tell you something about Hamilton, we are walking literally through Hamilton's neighborhood.
Okay.
We are showing you the actual
Wow.
things and why those things are as we walk through his
Okay.
neighborhood. And the essence of the tour is one that you already seem interested.
Yes, I
But-
want to do this tour.
But the essence of it really is that it draws you in. And in fact, that is the way all of our tours are based. We've spent lots of time designing them so
Okay.
that they are different. And to be immersive with a historical tour is not easy, but we had to find a way to do it. And I'll tell you this, the greatest honor that we've had lots of honors since we started this, but the greatest honor for us is that twice last year we had members from the original cast of Hamilton, the original Broadway play.
Oh yes.
They've come to
They've
Nevis.
been here.
And apart from coming to Nevis, I mean, on both occasions, they've done the tour
Okay.
and loved it.
And they loved it.
Yes, I
Excellent.
mean, I always start to make
Excellent.
sure that people know, yes, it's inspired by the play,
Right.
and apart from it being inspired by the play, it's also inspired by the fact that Hamilton was born here.
Born here in Nevis.
And I don't sing. Okay, so that I also have to it's not the place. I'm not.
So it's not a
singing.
musical.
No, I'm not singing. But what we do is we are as honest with the stories as we have to be. It's not whitewashed, where there are the dark aspects of the story related to Hamilton. And yeah, people probably wonder what can be dark in terms of the story of Hamilton. Well, take the tour and you'll find out.
Okay.
But the dark aspects of it, we tell it as raw as it deserves to be told,
Wow.
because the reality of it is, this is Nevis, this is our story, and we have to stay true to that because it is an immersive tour. And that is why people travel, so
Right.
that they can also connect to the places and know
Exactly.
the true story
And the
of the places.
authenticity
Precisely.
that comes out of
Yes.
the
So
town here.
so we present it in that way, and I mean, a few times it happens that as we present the story, we've had guests on the tour who cry because
Oh, wow.
yeah, because of what we present and the way we present what we
Wow.
present. So that's been a great honor for us. I mean, we've had a number of articles written about it. The biggest one for us has been in the Boston Globe earlier this year in January, when they wrote about what we do with this tour on Nevis. But and apart from those people who were in the play, we've had, sometimes I'm just amazed at the people who come to Nevis and who decide to take this specific tour.
Right.
And literally blown away by, oh, that's you, or that's the job that you do, because it appeals to a certain demographic.
Okay.
And they're just drawn to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And everybody loves a good story, for sure. So Nevis Sun Tours have a culinary tour coming up very soon. So Greg, tell us all about this culinary tour. It sounds very, very, very interesting.
But yeah, it's the culinary for us is one of the big things, because I've always loved what food does when you travel. I mean, if we're talking about the type of tours that we do, where it's highly immersive,
Right.
the best way to connect with
Nothing more
people-
immersive than eating.
Exactly. No, because our food culture
Yeah.
in St. Kitts and Nevis is amazing, and
Yeah.
and the tour is really a food discovery of St. Kitts and Nevis,
Right.
and that's what we present it as.
Another story.
Yeah, no, it is a story.
Wow,
And
beautiful.
as I tell you, yeah, we spoke about the Alexander Hamilton Island tour, but
Yeah.
everything we do, all the tours that we create, we put lots of thought into them
Right.
to make sure that they are not disjointed, but there is something about them
Right.
that is different. There's an extra step
Yeah.
or two. So when we talk about the food tours, and if you look at our roster of of tours, you'll realize that lots of them involve food. Lots of them involve
That's a
food.
good thing.
Yeah, no, it is, and from the days that NTA dealing with the Mango,
Mango
Festival,
Festival.
for me back then, making sure that we presented the food of St. Kitts and Nevis and always try to highlight the people here who are involved in food.
Right.
That was the story when
Yeah.
we created the Mango
Absolutely
Festival.
true.
And so because of that, I mean, it's still in me,
Yeah.
and it's the best way to connect. So this tour that we have, it's for a number of reasons. Number one, it's one of the premium products that we've created because we're specifically targeting a specific demographic of people who travel to St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
And these are the people on the higher end. And so we know that when they travel, lots of times, they're the ones who you might find just staying at the hotel because they have certain things that they're interested in
Okay.
and certain needs. And we see here in St. Kitts and Nevis that just essentially using what we have on these two islands, we can put some thought into it and create some very specific things, activities that fit the bill for them.
Okay.
And that can draw them out and get them involved, and at the same time create some opportunities for more
Right.
income.
So there are people who travel, and when they research, for destinations that really focus on the quality of food and the food experience.
Quality of food experience, and also the general experience.
Right.
So
So everything combined together.
exactly. So what we're doing with this, and the other part of it, is that we also are looking at this. We have a problem, and it's a problem that we do have in St. Kitts and Nevis.
What's that?
It's the main issue that here we are in the summer and everything is already slowed down.
Right.
Why?
Seasonal.
Yeah, it's
From what?
seasonal, and I feel that we who operate here, and especially those of us who operate in the fashion that focuses on bringing people to the island, we have work to do.
Right.
And the work
Come
that-
up with ways of encouraging and inviting
yeah, but
them to come in the slower months.
exactly. Many of us cannot survive in an industry that is profitable for 6 months of the year, and then for the next 6 months we're just
Right.
trying to survive. So as far as Nevis
We're trying to
concerned,
balance things
Nevis
out.
Sun Tours is concerned, I mean, we're not interested in having every summer be the same for us, where we're
Right.
just struggling.
Okay.
You know, we want to make sure that we can survive throughout. So when we create tours like these and target specific people, we can place these anywhere
Right.
during the year when we feel that we need more business.
Okay, so tell us about the culinary tour itself. Tell us the dates. I know you're bringing a special chef who
Yes.
has been here before.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Well, we have a contract with an agreement with an official agreement with Chef Judy Jude. Now, many of us know her from
Yeah,
the Mango
Mango
Festival.
Fest.
But what we do with her is different this time, because this specific tour that we're doing with her is essentially about, as I mentioned, a full discovery of St. Kitts and Nevis,
Right.
where she's here, and most of our food tours are part of the itinerary, and then we also have a few other tours. So we're covering both islands, St. Kitts and Nevis,
Okay.
because that's what we sell as Nevis Sun Tours, St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
So when we've put this together so that we sell it for people to come and be on this food tour with her. Essentially, you turn on the TV and you see all these famous chefs all around the world doing all these different things. And you can sometimes, if you're into food, you can look at it and say, well, I love food and I love travel. That must be so great. Well, this is an opportunity for people to
Right,
do
to actually take-
something like that.
Right.
And while Judy would be going about doing all these food activities, her mindset isn't just to enjoy them with the guests who are booked on this tour. Her mindset is essentially to be influenced by them, because on the last night she's doing a dinner at the Four Seasons, at Mango Restaurant specifically, and it's a collaboration dinner between her and one of the local chefs at the Four Seasons.
Okay.
And they are going to create specific recipes that have been influenced by her experience on this specific
Oh,
food tours.
wow.
So, as we know that her cuisine of focus is Asian cuisine.
Right.
So
She's
yes,
Korean.
she's Korean.
Mhm.
So while she's focusing on Asian cuisine, and I don't know if this is going to be part of it, but just from the conversations we've had with her and the Four Seasons,
Right.
You may get dumplings that the Asians make, and they always have a stuffing in them. But guess
Right.
what?
It could be.
It could be curried goat.
Yeah.
you may have a roti, and okay, it's
Wow.
kimchi
So
inside the
she's
roti.
actually gathering as
Yes,
she goes along in this tour.
It's about the
Wow.
influences that
Mm.
she's gonna pick up
Right.
from what she experiences about the food of St. Kitts and Nevis. So with this one, it runs from the 15th of July
Okay.
until the 22nd of July. The stays are at the Four Seasons. But the other thing that we've done with this tour is we have specifically included a journalist, because again, this is not just a one-off food tour. It's something that we plan to do multiple
Okay.
times.
Yeah. Right.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's always going to be the same chef.
Right.
But
So it's just a part of what Nevis
Yes.
Sun Tours offers.
yes, it
Okay.
will be.
But it can change.
Oh yeah, it can change.
Okay.
But it will be a notable celebrity chef every time.
Each
That is the
time.
plan, and
Right.
it could be Chef Judy Joe again.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we have a journalist now involved who has a specific commission to write a 4-page article for a specific publication. I can't mention now, but
Okay.
just know that it is a publication that fits the bill in the sense that it will reach the demographic that we're targeting.
Perfect.
The type of people who would see the price of a tour like this and not be sticker shocked and say,
Right.
well, I can't afford it.
Right.
Whether or not they could afford it is not a question. It's going to be a question as to whether or not they feel it's an experience that's
That
going
they
to
want to
fulfill
partake of.
what they want.
Okay.
Yes.
That
Exactly.
sounds good. Just give us the dates again.
It's July 15th to the 22nd.
15th to the 22nd.
Yes.
And it's
This
called
year. Well, it's
the
a food,
official name?
it's a Nevis Sun Tours small group culinary trip. It's a long name, but it's, as again, if you just want to sum it up, it's a food discovery of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And so what else do you have planned before we close out? What else is Nevis Sun Tours going to bring? What innovative ideas do you have?
The reality is we never stop innovating, and that's the key thing. And every single year, every season, you'll see that we have new tours
Right.
or new initiatives that we're doing, either with specific entities in St. Kitts and Nevis, or new things that we're doing that we feel fits the bill for St. Kitts and Nevis as a tourism destination. We won't stop innovating.
Great.
The past couple of weeks, since it's slowed down a bit now, the past couple of weeks, what we've been doing, we've been testing we have 4 new tours that we're adding, but we have to test them because again, we don't just put something
Yeah,
together.
exactly.
We
It has to
make
fit
sure
the bill of what you want
yes,
to
yes,
experience.
it has to be right. And when I say right, as I explained with the Alexander Hamilton Island tour, it takes effort
Yes.
and to create something that is appealing, and that's what we've done.
Okay.
And I mean, I also have to say that because of what we're doing with the food discovery of St. Kitts and Nevis and the fact that it has wide implications for the destination and what it took to bring it together, we had some help.
Yes, I was just going to ask
yes.
you, are there other partners on the island you collaborate with?
Yes, we collaborate with both tourism authorities, Nevis Tourism
And
Authority
St. Kitts.
and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, because again, our focus is St. Kitts and Nevis.
Right.
And there's so much we can do with these 2 islands, and we are exploiting the opportunities between the 2 islands.
Okay.
So we work with both tourism authorities. We also work with other entities like Bank of Nevis International for sure, GMP Graphics and Printing, to make sure that we're bringing together things that fit and benefit everyone. It's difficult. It's difficult to build a company like Nevis Sun Tours with the significant things that we have in mind to do as a tour operator and to be a significant international tour operator. It's difficult to build that if we do not have a destination promotion aspect to it.
Right.
We have a YouTube channel, and since last year we have now somewhere in the region of 70 different videos, because we are consistent with our content production, and we do those consistently. And if you look at our videos on our YouTube channel, you'll realize that all of them are destination promotion videos.
Yeah.
Because you can't sell this if no one knows about it.
Exactly.
And the reality is, resources for everyone are limited. And when I say we, those of us who depend and work in this tourism industry between these two islands, we cannot leave everything up to the ministries of tourism or to the tourism authorities. We have to get involved
Active
and
participants.
bring what
Exactly.
we have to the table, and that's essentially what
So
we're
tell
doing.
us the YouTube channel, the name.
Oh, the name of the YouTube channel is Nevis Sun Tours.
Nevis
Go on
Sun
YouTube,
Tours. Okay.
punch in Nevis Sun Tours, and you'll see
And you can get
everything.
some information on
Lots of information.
St.
on
Kitts and Nevis
just
as a
about
destination.
St. Kitts and Nevis as a destination. I mean, the best way that we use this channel is that we use it as a resource, because we have built it as a resource.
Right.
We have almost 3,000 travel agents around this world who work with us, and we have this as a resource for them,
Right.
and also for people who travel.
So yeah, so it's a selling tool.
Yeah, it is a selling tool as well as it is an educational tool.
Right.
But at the same time, for example, there's so many things that we do in terms of content creation every single week.
Right.
There's so much. And so, for example, all these travel agents, some of them, all of them hear from us. They get an email from us once a week,
Right.
minimum. And then
So
there
you're
are
maintaining that contact, maintaining
yes.
that relationship.
yeah, and then there's some of them who get an email from us twice a week, and that is because of part of our strategy to specifically focus on certain areas where we feel that we have an opportunity to build and have more travelers coming from. So our work is heavy sometimes, but again, what we're doing, we're building something significant. And when I say building something significant, it is not just something that we're building, for us to make money. We have to be profitable as a company, but ultimately we're building something that is going to be significant for St. Kitts and Nevis, because one of the things that I feel that we have been missing throughout our journey as a destination that say, hey, come here, have a vacation here. One of the things that we have been missing is a company that does what we do.
Right. Based right here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yes. Our dependence, I think,
It's
have
been
just
international,
been
yes.
too much just on what the government can do, too much on what the tourism authorities can do, when in fact there are opportunities, business opportunities.
Well, we're all in it together.
outside of
It's
that.
everybody's business. We keep saying that
Precisely.
tourism is everybody's business. So whatever aspect, whatever way we contribute, it's for the benefit of everybody here and for the island of Nevis in general. Well, Greg, it's been such a great day talking to you, finding out about Nevis Sun Tours. And so we wish you all the best as you continue to innovate and create and curate these excellent immersive experiences here in Nevis and St. Kitts.
Well, thank you, Pam. It's been good to be with you.
Thank you.
And you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for viewing this week. We look forward to seeing you again as we continue to explore the ins and outs of this beautiful island paradise of Nevis. Bye for now.
Nowhere but my island, right here, right here, right here. We live the Caribbean. Nowhere but my island, right here, right here, right here. We live the Caribbean.
This program is sponsored by the Bank of Nevis Limited. Thank you, the Bank of Nevis.
Banking is now an essential part of our life. That's why the Bank of Nevis Limited is making life easier for all of our customers. As a bond customer, waiting in line is a thing of the past. Deposit checks or cash at any one of our Charlestown ATMs today. Short on funds? No problem. It's easy making withdrawals using your Bond Visa debit card. Experience how much easier life can be with just one swipe of your debit card. Whether it's online or in store, we've got you covered. Easy and delicious. Now that's a great combo. We fully understand that sometimes life can get hectic. Log on to Bond's online banking platform and with just a click, you can save the day by easily transferring funds from your savings to your checking account. Just like that. And your funds are transferred in real time. Perfect. With a single swipe of your debit card or a few clicks for online banking, the Bank of Nevis Limited will continue to improve the quality of your life so you can continue to live your best life. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life.